The mystical truths in religions East and West are brought to light again and made relevant for our time by Elizabeth Clare Prophet, world-renowned author and spiritual teacher.
How would you describe the mother force as active in life?
Well, since the mother principle is that which nourishes life, we can think of her and of this flame as the energy in education, in science, in great works of art, great music, great painting, sculpture, and drama, science that pursues the mastery and conquest of time and space. All of this is the mother force nurturing life. It is God within us that is releasing the energy that tutors the soul in the way that it must go. We find then that the presence of mother, as all of the beauty and all of the goals which we see in life, is beset by a counterforce, which we find depicted in that 12th chapter of the book of Revelation, when the dragon comes forth at the moment when the mother is going to give birth to the man-child. This is the mother within us all giving birth to our own Christ consciousness. And he seeks to tear from us that man-child as soon as it is born. We find then that this is an anti-mother, anti-Christ force in the world. How does it manifest? Child pornography, the desecration of woman, the tearing down of true educational values, even the tearing down of each individual nationhood and of our own history, the understanding of God government as the means to liberate the soul rather than to enslave it to the state. Many forces active in the world today, very active in the media itself, to tear down the true values of the real self of all. The real self of all we call the Christ. You can call it the Buddha, you can call it whatever, but it is that true inherent reality, and it is the mother soul, the mother force of a cosmos, which protects this emerging identity within us all. When we experience then the alienation of mother, or we allow the forces of anti-mother to encroach upon our family and upon our life, we find that everything that we try to do is torn down, it disintegrates, there is chaos, there is confusion. But what do we find as the antidote to this? We find that in that 12th chapter of the book of Revelation, God sends his emissary, Michael the archangel, to challenge that dragon. And there is war in heaven, and Michael and his angels defeat that dragon and cast him out of heaven into the earth. And so we find that if we are going to really raise up the light of Mother, which is such a cosmic force for creativity within us, we must enlist that emissary of God, that Archangel Michael, to come to our aid for protection. This we can do in the decree to Lord Michael, which we have given before on this program, or a very simple call to Michael the Archangel, which goes this way. Lord Michael before, Lord Michael behind, Lord Michael to the right, Lord Michael to the left, Lord Michael above, Lord Michael below, Lord Michael, wherever I go. I am his love protecting here, I am his love protecting here, I am his love protecting here. Now, many times it is necessary to call forth the intercession of the angelic hosts of light, principally Archangel Michael, because it is his office to defend our faith and to defend the flow of Father, Mother, and Son within our own consciousness.
When you talk about mother, are you talking about an impersonal force or something more personal?
Doug, I'm talking about both the impersonal force of a cosmos, an energy frequency, and a very personal manifestation that becomes personal when a son or a daughter of God decides by free will to ensoul that force. This Mother Mary did, this we can do. But we have to overcome this antipathy to the concept of God as mother. And until we do, we will find ourselves as a people and as a nation unprotected from the forces of Antichrist and anti-mother, which are raging the spiritual warfare of Armageddon against our souls and against our souls' emergence into the fullness of that maturity whereby we can anchor the light of God and bring out and manifest the victory in this age.
How can we distinguish between the real and the counterfeit mother force that you describe?
I guess the difference, Doug, is between Eve before the fall and Eve after the fall. And it all hinges on obedience to the laws of God. The sin of Eve was the sin of disobedience against the Lord Christ. Obedience simply means being in harmony with the inner blueprint of ourselves, being in harmony with the forces of cosmos that govern our very life. The woman clothed with the sun is the woman who has magnetized the light of cosmos to the glory of the feminine ray of God. That woman in the book of Revelation can be every woman on earth. But in order to be clothed with the sun, she must be willing to surrender all that is unlike that sun consciousness. And then the flame within her heart becomes the magnet of great central sun energies, and she becomes so filled with light that she is able to hold the flame on earth for the coming to the fore of that Christ consciousness in all of the sons and daughters of God. Inasmuch as we have seen centuries upon centuries roll by without too much manifestation of this cosmic consciousness, we can surmise that there have not been very many women who have been able to ensoul this mother force and to keep it steady in the face of that dragon of the carnal mind within the self and within the mass consciousness. And so today, Mother Mary comes to the fore, gives us a science, gives us a new rosary, and a new way to use the spoken word to coalesce energy. She is doing this not for her personal adoration or adulation, but she desires to transfer to us our rightful and lawful inheritance as sons and daughters of God. And men, as well as women, must exalt the mother principle because we are all seeking that balance of father and mother. Women pray to father just as naturally as men ought to pray to mother. And in the fusion of the twain, we will have happy, harmonious, healthy families and offsprings, healthy communities, healthy states and nations. It all begins with the resolution within ourselves of the father and mother principles. And really, this is the basis of modern psychology. And it is our schism and our problems dealing with our earthly mothers and fathers that generate in us this alienation from God the Father and God the Mother.
It's really the difference between night and day, then, isn't it?
It's like the difference between the sun and the moon. The moon energies are identified with a figure of the great whore in the book of Revelation. This is the personification of that anti-mother force. It is a death energy because it always seeks to tear down and to lower the energies of man and woman until they are entirely spent upon a pleasure cult and a success cult, instead of upon the true culture of the mother whereby we are raised up and not torn down.
What does this have to do with the daily lives of our listeners?
It simply means that we have an energy locked within our being. It is like the lightning that has flashed across the sky for 1,000,000 years. It is like the white fire core of the atom that is in the heart of the mountains and the rocks. Suddenly man discovers this energy, he harnesses it, and a whole new era of life and civilization occurs. The energy of mother locked within all of us can be released. When it is released, it is a joy of living. We discover who we are. We become truly worthy sons and daughters of God. The moment we begin to salute with the dawn the light of mother and the light of father within ourselves, this energy is unlocked. It comes to the fore. It gives us joy, dominion, purpose, and understanding of our reason for being, and it unfolds the path of the ascension whereby we can reunite with God. Whatever we are doing in this moment, washing the dishes, cleaning house, preparing the evening meal, this can become a sacred labor which we charge with the energies of father and mother within our being. And suddenly, matter is endowed with spirit. This is the materialization of the God flame, its crystallization. It is the spiritualization of our consciousness. It means that a new energy, a new life, comes into us, and by this life we can experience the atonement, the redemption, the resurrection, and the reunion with God. This is the goal of life, but it's a daily goal. Paul said, I die daily. And what it really means is we are born and reborn daily as we recontact this source, this fount of life that God has placed within us. We need this energy. Our lives are dead without it. This is why people meditate. Meditation is but the first step of the science of the spoken word. When we meditate upon God or the inner self or the great void, we contact that energy source. To draw it down and make it practical in our life to solve every single problem we have, we must vocalize. We must let it burst forth as a song, a decree, a praise, a fiat from our throat chakra. Then it crystallizes, and we find that that energy becomes charged, literally charged with a new life, and we are no longer the living dead, but we are alive and buoyant with life. Life takes on a new freedom, and we realize that this freedom is meant for all peoples and all nations, and we become excited about transferring this word and this flame we have discovered in our heart. This then becomes the flame that leaps heart to heart across the earth with that awakening, quickening energy that is the new age. I like to ask our listeners to meditate upon God, the Mother who lives within you, and to give adoration and salutation to that Mother as I pray. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sons and daughters of God, now and at the hour of our victory over sin, disease, and death. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sons and daughters of God, now and at the hour of our victory over sin, disease, and death. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou among women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sons and daughters of God, now and at the hour of our victory over sin, disease, and death.
Thank you very much.
This is a presentation of the Summit Lighthouse, an international spiritual organization dedicated to universal enlightenment. Founded in 1958, the Summit Lighthouse is a beacon of truth to thousands worldwide and a leader in New Thought spirituality.